Welcome back, Sandwalkers. Today we're going to be talking about the Landsraad in Dune Awakening. I'm going to try my best to explain exactly what the Landsraad is and how it works. And for those of you who don't know what Landsraad is, it's basically what you're going to be doing during the mid to end game to win votes for your faction. But before we jump in, I wanted to remind everyone that Dune Awakening comes out on June 10th, but you can get an early access start by buying the Deluxe or Ultimate Edition, and you will be able to play on June 5th. If you do plan on pre-ordering and haven't yet, please consider using the link in my description, as it does support me and my channel, and I'd really appreciate it. Now with all that out of the way, let's jump right in. In Dune Awakening, the mid to end game revolves around the Landsraad, a server-wide council where great houses compete to control the decrees and impact all players. You as a player can influence the Landsraad through various activities, both PvE and PvP, to secure votes and gain power for your faction. Now you're probably wondering yourself, what the heck even is a Landsraad? Well, picture the Landsraad as the ultimate astrocratic soap opera of the Dune universe. A grand assembly where the galaxy's most powerful noble houses strut their stuff, scheme behind each other's backs, and flex their political muscles. The Landsraad is comprised of the great houses, families that control entire planets or star systems. Think House Atreides and House Harkonnen, and eventually there will be more in Dune Awakening. Each house sends representatives to the Landsraad, wielding its own influence, resources, and grudges. The result? A shimmering stew of alliances, rivalries, and whispered betrayals. But why does the Landsraad matter in Dune Awakening? Originally, the Landsraad was established to prevent any single house or emperor from becoming so dominant that they could steamroll the rest. By banding together, these noble families form a political counterweight to imperial power. When united, the Landsraad can threaten to withhold support from the emperor, influence the massive Chom trading conglomerate, or even force concessions on spice quotas. It's the classic balance of power concept across the galaxy. Think of the Landsraad in Dune Awakening as the ultimate which house will rule this week's showdown, where every sand-swept step, spice shipment, and PvP skirmish adds to political clout. This is how it will unfold. When you join a guild, you'll choose or be assigned a house, initially Atreides or Harkonnen at launch. There will be more in the future. Each house hands out a rotating set of missions or tasks. Every completed objective nets votes for your house, so it's in everyone's interest to participate, even those who are soloers, PvE grinders, or if you're a full-on PvP squad, you're going to want to chip in. Think of the Landsraad as a bingo card, and this is how you're going to earn votes for that bingo card. The Landsraad has objectives like a bingo card. Each week, guilds race to tick off as many boxes as possible. The tasks may include resource deliveries, so you'll be shoving truckloads of spice or other high-value resources into the vault. Territory control, which you'll hold a specific deep desert outpost or capture resource nodes. Reconnaissance runs. Submit detailed maps of designated deep desert sectors. Completing any of these will give your house a vote toward that week's tally. Guilds coordinate to optimize who farms what, where, and when, because every vote matters. Now, when does the voting happen, and how does this cycle work? A visible timer called the Landsraad term keeps everyone honest. At week's end, the house with the most votes wins the Landsraad. The contributing guild leaders from the winning house get to cast ballots on a decree that shapes server-wide conditions for the next term. Examples of possible decrees include faction-specific perks, so you could set it to where your faction has reduced crafting costs or resource gathering buffs. There's also PvP rule tweaks, right of salvage, rules in the deep desert meaning looted gear, extra bounty chances, or more unforgiving open world combat, which could mean that you could lose everything if you are killed by a PvP player. Because these decrees affect everyone on the server, friend or foe, each cycle fundamentally alters how you approach exploration, crafting, and PvP for the following week. But to keep the bingo card grind from getting stale, the Landsraad tasks rotate weekly. One week might emphasize territory control, the next could push spice deliveries, and a third might throw a sneaky sabotage mission against the leading house to help balance the scales. This dynamic keeps guilds strategizing on the fly, adapting playstyles, and forging or breaking alliances in real time. The Landsraad will have a huge impact on gameplay, guys, and it's gonna look like, cross-server politics, I mean, even if you're a lone wanderer focused on crafting, your actions will still contribute to your house vote count. So expect friendly nudges to join up for group hunts or resource runs. Top tier resources, rare crafting materials, and high-end weapons often lie behind Landsraad objectives. If your guild wants to stay competitive, you'll need to dedicate time each week to hit those targets. When the winning house pushes a PvP looting decree, the deep desert turns into a full-blown sandstorm of betrayal. You might find yourself ambushed on a spiced convoy or defending a waypoint from enemy guilds looking to rack up votes. Here are some tips to dominate in the Landsraad. Form a balanced team. Mix resource specialists, skilled scouts for fast map runs, and competent PvP fighters. Communicate consistently. Use Discord or in-game chat to call out high-value resource spawns, deep desert shifts, and enemy guild movements. And just a tip, there are some people working on Discord bots to announce these type of things like spice blows, which is kind of really cool, and I hope that this works really well. Adapt to the weekly objective. Check the Landsraad window as soon as it resets. If it's a spice rush week, prioritize harvesting. If it's a territory control, coordinate base camp pushes. Make sure to stay flexible on PvP. Even if PvE is your jam, be ready to defend spice runs or intervene in contested zones once a PNVP favoring decree hits. By layering these mechanics on top traditional MMO loops, gather, craft, conquer, the Landsraad transforms Dune Awakening into a living, breathing political sandbox. Every decision you make and every spice-laden shipment you turn in counts toward whether Atreides or Harkonnen, or perhaps a third emergent faction down the road, claims temporary rule over the shifting sands of Arrakis. And as mentioned earlier, for those of you who may not understand, the Deep Desert isn't just a PvP only area. There are PvE only zones, PvE missions. Some houses might request players to eliminate specific NPC groups or provide certain goods, allowing PvE players to contribute to their faction's power. So no worries on that end for you folks who may be worried about having to be forced into PvP within the Landsraad. It is something that you may want to consider, as it may help your guild, but it is not required. And that's going to be the end. I hope this helped you guys understand what the Landsraad is in Dune Awakening a little bit more. And if it did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more Dune Awakening content. And I will see you guys in the next video, Sandwalkers.